If you're wondering whether Jura's belief that love weakens judgment is true in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, then this video is for you. Here's why. In this video, I'll explain the situations in the Boruto manga that led Jura to believe that love affects a person's ability to make good decisions. Everything shared in this video will help you understand things from Jura's perspective. Jura believes that people are naturally social, and because of that, they're held back by something called reasoning. He thinks this reasoning weakens their natural instinct to chase after something he calls evolution. Because of this, Jura sees love as dangerous. He believes that love makes people choose to do foolish things even when they know better, just because of that strong emotion. So what made Jura think this way? Let's look at the situations that led him to believe this. The first situation happened when Jura came to Konoha. He thought he was chasing after Naruto, but later realized they were actually following Kurama's chakra, which was coming from Himawari. The reason Jura was after Kurama was because he wanted to devour him in order to gain identity and knowledge and reach his next stage of evolution. When Jura tried to devour Himawari, the Ino-Shika-Cho trio worked together to protect her. Jura was impressed by how well they coordinated their moves without even speaking. Out of respect for their teamwork, Jura gave them a warning. He told them that Himawari was his only target and that he and Hidari had no problem with them. But if they continued to resist, he and Hidari would be forced to attack. Jura believed that warning them would be enough. He thought they would logically hand over Himawari to avoid a fight. But instead, the trio attacked Jura and tried to help Himawari escape using Inogen's flying bird jutsu. While Jura had his hands in his pockets, Shikadai used his shadow paralysis jutsu to hold Jura still, but it didn't work. Jura used his right eye to fire a small compressed biju bomb. Shikadai was saved when Chojo pushed Jura, throwing Jura's aim off just enough to allow Shikadai to dodge. The biju bomb caused massive destruction wherever it landed. The trio and Himawari also saw how powerful it was, and worse, Jura used no effort at all to unleash it. Jura thought after seeing this, they'll realize how hopeless the situation was and decide to give up Himawari. But they didn't. Instead, they kept running with Himawari. Even Jura was surprised. He made it clear that Himawari was the only target and that they would not be harmed if they didn't resist. But still, they chose to fight on, even if it meant risking their lives. That's when Jura realized something unusual was pushing them beyond their own survival instinct. He started to think that this behavior might hold important knowledge for the divine trees. Later, while reflecting and reading books, Jura understood what it was. It was love. Jura realized that love is what made the Ino-Shika-Cho put Himawari's safety above their own lives, even though they knew how dangerous that decision was. This belief was confirmed when Jura caught up with them again. They were flying out of Konoha with Himawari to lead Jura away from the village and reduce the damage he might cause. When Jura caught Himawari and restrained her with his wood-style devouring jutsu, Inogen still refused to let her be taken, even though they were too weak to stop Jura. Because of Inogen's refusal to give up, Jura used his wood style to attack Inogen, causing a hole through Inogen's stomach. All these moments from that one situation made Jura believe that love weakens a person's judgment. The second situation involves Matsuri and Konohamaru, and it taught Jura that love can affect the divine trees. Jura believed this meant that the divine trees themselves need to understand love and how it affects decisions. In this situation, Matsuri was trying to devour Konohamaru. She could have easily done it within a few minutes, but something stopped her. She seemed confused by emotions she didn't fully understand, especially the feeling of love. As Matsuri started the process of devouring Konohamaru, she began to cry. Her heart just started beating faster just from hearing Konohamaru call out in pain from her jutsu. Even though her instincts as a divine tree was to devour him, her sadness showed she didn't actually want to kill him. Because of this emotional conflict, what Jura recognized as love, Matsuri hesitated. That hesitation gave Konohamaru a chance to act. Konohamaru told her to squeeze his hands and hold them, saying that's how special relationships begin. Hearing those words made Matsuri even more emotional, because that kind of bond was something she secretly wanted with Konohamaru. Matsuri then held his hands and even said they felt so warm. At that moment, Konohamaru remembered what Shikamaru once told him, to try and befriend the divine trees, win them over, tame them, while they are still learning how to deal with human emotions, and then betray them if needed. So while Matsuri was holding his hands, and feeling connected, Konohamaru used the chance to attack. He created and hit her with 2 giant Rasengan, aiming to defeat her. The Rasengan destroyed Matsuri's hands and the lower part of her body. But instead of finishing her off, Konohamaru hesitated, feeling empathy for her even though she was an enemy. Through the shared senses between the divine trees, Jura witnessed everything. From what he saw, Jura concluded that because of love, Matsuri lost focus. She hesitated to devour Konohamaru, and that allowed him to trick her and launch a powerful, strong counter-attack. The third situation happened when Boruto came to the battlefield to save Konohamaru from Matsuri, even though he knew that Jura would appear with the goal of trying to kill him once he showed up. As expected, when Jura arrived, he told Boruto that Boruto already knew why he had to come, to kill him. Jura explained clearly that the reason he wanted to kill Boruto was because Boruto seemed to know too much. Jura observed that Boruto somehow knew about the thorn sword bulbs, although he didn't explain how, and that he seemed to understand a lot about the divine trees, more than he should. When Boruto didn't give an answer about how he knew this, Jura moved on to ask a different question. What is love? Jura then shared his current view. He said that in his opinion, love is a weakness for humans. He believed it's a flaw that comes from being too intelligent. Jura explained that love distracts people and leads them to make poor decisions. To prove his point, Jura used Boruto as an example. He said he believed that Boruto knew his chances of winning the fight against him were very small, but Boruto still came to help his friends. In Jura's eyes, this meant that love pulled Boruto onto the battlefield, leading him straight into a fight he could not win, and possibly to his own death. These are the reasons why Jura believes that love is an emotion that clouds judgment. Because of what he has seen, Jura will eventually understand that the best way to lead humans into traps or lead them into situations that he wants them to be in is by using the people they love. He has realized that humans, especially shinobi, will do anything to protect the people they care about, even if it means risking their own lives or getting themselves killed.